Welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join my channel. So I was thinking about what am I going to do a video on this week, and something that always comes up is gas. Is it all created equal? But when you look at the different prices from one station to another, boy, you'd think there'd be a big difference. And in some cases there actually is. And I've often thought, when you see those pumps that say top tier gasoline, is it really top tier? Or is it just something made up to make you feel better as you're pumping in that premium gas into your tank for over $3 a gallon, or in some cases almost $4 a gallon? So I decided to do a little bit of research. But first, I'll give you my own experience with some of the fuels that I've used over the years on my old cars. We'll go back to my high compression 1969 AMX with a 390, and it had a 10.5 to 1 compression ratio, and I had to use premium. In fact, back in the day, we didn't have a whole lot of high octane gas around here, so I had to put in additives, and that always took care of it. We could head out to a couple of gas stations around the drag strip out in the county, Union Grove drag strip. There's a gas station there on 45 that would sell high octane racing fuel, like 101 octane. So we gas up on that in the AMX, but that's really not practical, right? I mean, to run out there every time you got to get gas. And fast forward to where we are today, there's a lot of different choices. We have all the premium brands: Exxon, Mobil, BP, even Citgo, Shell. They all have their own flavor of whatever their top tier gas is. And then you go to even some of the local, some of the other, still large fueling stations, but more like a quick trip. They also have some top tier. They also advertise that they have top tier gasoline. So some of my own experience has been, we sometimes you just happen to be where you need gas, and you gas up at a mom and pop place, or we'll call them independent gas stations, and they're 20-25 cents cheaper sometimes. The gas kind of stinks when you're pumping it. You can kind of smell it. It's kind of like, ooh, is it old? Doesn't have all the stuff in it that it's supposed to have, but the car starts and runs. And it runs okay. But then, like, I'm going to give you an example. My 92 Vet. It's got an LT1. I don't know what the compression ratio is on that. I forgot. It's got the tag on the dash, but I don't remember what the compression ratio is. But it was the first year where they actually got back into the 300s with horsepower. And I was pumping, just whatever the regular unleaded is, wherever I could get it. And the car ran okay, but, I always kind of felt like, a little bit of a rough running. Is it because the car's old? Is it, So I started using, I wasn't sure. So the plugs looked okay. Injectors, maybe I could have gone through the trouble of changing injectors, but, I didn't want to spend the money on it. So I was pumping additives in it, didn't seem to help. So I just started running the Supreme Plus, or whatever, however they advertise it. I have a Mobil station right by my house. Most expensive gas on the market. Mobil Supreme Plus in the high octane. I think it's 93 octane. And, I didn't drive the car much, so it wasn't that painful at the pump. So I'm pumping that in. Every time I needed to fuel up, I'd fuel up on the Mobil Plus, and the car actually started to run better. And I was like, is it running better just because I'm driving it more? Is it running better because of the high quality gasoline that I'm putting in, or at least the perceived high quality gasoline that I'm putting in it? But I mean, facts are facts. It was running better. Even the exhaust smelled sweeter, less stale. For lack of a better word, I could smell the difference when I was pumping the gas. It just smelled like highly detergent gas, I guess. I'm not even sure how to explain it. But I could definitely, my nose was picking up the difference. Pumping high quality gas versus gasoline from one of the independents. Now, I'm not here to knock anybody's gasoline. I mean, if you want to gas up at an independent station and save that 20 cents, go for it. But for those of us that have old cars, or even those of us that have new cars, I've always wanted to know, is there really a difference? So I experienced personally that I feel that my Corvette, my Fieros, they both run, all three of those run much better. Even my Volvo, if I just continue to put the Mobile Supreme Plus fuel in it, over time it seems to run better. So I started doing a little bit of research. I ran across a little bit of history. Top tier gasolines actually started around 2004. All the major manufacturers got together, and this is one thing that they probably, the only thing they ever agreed on, is that they created a standard for top tier gas. Now, the cool thing is that they did it because their engines are getting more complex, more precise. So, just they needed to have a better standard in what their cars required. Now, this is research from AAA. Okay, and you can go online and you can find the same research and read up on it. But I found it really intriguing that in 2004 they created this top tier gasoline spec, I guess we'll call it a specification. And in order for you to sell top tier, all of your octanes at the pump have to be top tier. So if I go to Quick Trip and the Quick Trip has the top tier gasoline sold here, all of the grades of gasoline have to be top tier. So you don't just get the top tier detergent in the most expensive high octane. You are supposed to get, now I'm not the police, but you are supposed to get the top tier gas for all of your octane ratings that are available at that pump. And this is from a reliable source. AAA, which has been around forever. I mean, those guys have a pretty solid reputation, I suppose. I'm a AAA member. I make sure my daughter has AAA coverage, so we've depended on AAA over the years. And so, do you need to buy the premium gas? No, you don't. If it says that they sell top tier gas, Costco as well has top tier gas. It doesn't matter what octane, even though what I've noticed is that they put the top tier sticker on the high octane pump. All of those pumps, in order for you to sell the 93, the 87, and the 88, and the 89, all have to be top tier. If you're going to sell one, you have to have all of them. That is one of the requirements of carrying the top tier gas. So for the test, what they did is an independent engine testing lab did this, and they ran it for 100 hours, which represented 4,000 real miles of use. The engine was then disassembled and photographed, and all the components were weighed and measured to determine the thickness of the carbon deposits. 6 fuels were used randomly and selected and split among 3 basic gasoline sources and 3 top tier sources. So there we go. So these are the results of that test. The results show that on average, a non-top tier gasoline had 19 times more carbon deposits on the injectors, on intake valves, and in the combustion chamber than the top tier gasoline had. So it looks like it actually does make a difference. AAA also found that top tier gasoline can have a cleaning effect, reducing intake valve deposits from 45 to 72% when used on the 5,000 mile interval variation. And the result is attributed to the detergents used by different brands. So the top tier gas, when they put them all together, they all did better than the non-top tier gas And not only did it have less carbon deposits, it also, it looks like in some tests, it actually cleaned the engine as well. So bottom line, it is worth it. In some cases now, the study goes back to 2016. They were saying that the basic fuel and the top tier gas have on average in the United States about a 3-cent difference between low tier and top tier. And I know that people drive around to save a couple of pennies on gas, and that's cool because I'm all about saving money. The bottom line of the result is, for the nominal investment, the study shows that motorists would benefit from using a top tier gasoline as their primary fuel. And another thing that I found interesting on some of the research that I had done, and this was all done online, I didn't go to the library or anything. I wasn't doing a scientific research, just basic interest in what are we putting into our cars. All the gas is created equal. There is, it isn't like when the gas is pulled out, whatever the process is, when you have the crude oil, gasoline is actually the waste product of whatever they're doing when they're processing crude oil that gets pumped out of the ground. The gasoline is then stored in common containers. It's all the same when it starts out. It doesn't actually become Mobil or Shell or Citgo or Costco or Kirkland or whatever Sam's Club uses. It doesn't become that fuel until actually the retailer actually puts all their chemical additives in it and give it the brand, that the Mobil brand. It all gets added. So the gasoline is all born the same, just like all of us. We're all the same. And then it's all the inputs that go into it make us who we are. Same thing with the gasoline. It is whatever they put into it is what makes it the brand that you're buying. And that's where it becomes a personal choice on what do you think is best. For me personally, Mobil Supreme Plus has been the best. I've used that one the most. And I just like it. In a silly way, I kind of like the way it smells when you pump it. Maybe growing up next to an automotive manufacturing plant, my nose is sensitive to certain chemicals, but it just smells rich. It even when the car runs, the Mobil stuff just smells better. And maybe it's like going to the racetrack or going to the drag strip or going to a circle track place and you can smell the better gas. Maybe it's just a memory thing in my head, but the Mobil gas is definitely better. So bottom line, guys, I think the high top tier gasoline is definitely worth it. Am I telling you not to buy your independent gas station gas? Absolutely not. When you're in a pinch, you put it in, the car runs, it's fine. Modern cars are very resilient. You're not going to break it on a tank of cheap gas. It's just not going to happen. Don't let people scare you into that either. But for long term and for a car that you don't drive that often, I think putting in the premium top tier gas. I use the Mobil. It's almost $4 a gallon. Of course, I'm not driving my Corvette in the wintertime. Wouldn't get very far. You put it in, and I have had such amazing results using their top tier gas. But that might dispel this. I'm hoping this actually dispels some of the myths around gas. It's all created equal. It all starts out in the same tank, and it's when somebody buys it, the retailer buys it, adds their chemicals, is when it becomes what it is. So, you make your own choice, but they're all over. Another thing I wanted to share is this AAA study actually even gave us some of the more popular brands that actually carry the triple or the high tier gas, or top tier gas. I apologize. And even Meyer, Mobil, Arco, Chevron, Citgo, Phillips 66. What else they got? Exxon, Holiday, Value America, Sunoco, Shamrock, Readers, Costco, Kirkland, Signature Gasoline. they all carry top tier, so it's available everywhere, you know. But then again, you know, you go past, you know, a couple of gas stations around town that just, you know, have, you know, Bob's gas station, and you're going to pay 25 cents less. You're just not going to get as much detergent. Is the gas basically the same gas that you're buying from the mobile station? Yeah, it all came out of the same tank. It just don't have all the additives that the main brands are putting in there to meet top tier. And another thing I want you to remember, which is also important, don't get fooled into thinking that you only get top tier if you buy the high octane stuff. If you get the 87 and it's a top tier gas station, all of the brands, all of the octane ratings have to be top tier. And I hope that helps. And guys, thank you again for taking the time to watch my station. Again, I'm hoping you guys could send me some, you know, feedback, something that you want to see. Shoot me an email. It's in the email address is in the description. It's nutzaboutcarswi@gmail.com. And just trying to get through the winter months here. So woke up to -6 degrees this morning. We're going to be warming up a little bit into the teens tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Time for shorts and a t-shirt. Maybe go wash the car. So, all right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your week. Remember to take care of each other, and we'll see you next week. Bye.